Hello everyone and welcome to the Gunpla Network. I'm the Spicer, and today's recap of episode 5 of Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch of Mercury is brought to you by more duels and possible human experimentation. So we get a hot start this week with Mr. Elan himself, Elan, whatever you want to call him, cyber new type boy. We're just going to call him 4 for now because, well, you'll find out in a minute. But he is in a duel. Yeah, he's in his Zolwart, which is one of the other grunt suits that we see. It's got this cool thruster pack on the back, and we really get to see him do cool pilot things, and we'll find out why he's a little bit better than our frustrated boy Gwell over here, or Chippity Jr. This is also a very interesting time that we find out there's open gambling on these duels. It's just super accepted. It's built into their app. It's like the school's like, have fun. We don't even care. And I find that very interesting. Then we see the Zolwart do some cool, like, look at this beautiful scene. So good. Anyway, so he does some cool maneuvers. Everyone's like, yeah, he got blown up. And then he does this cool beam rifle thing. I don't like this beam rifle design, but it is overall a really cool scene. Kind of fight heavy this week. We do get some cool context in the middle of it, but we get to see him finish this duel, winning against all 3 of those dudes. Both of these dudes lost a bunch of money, very upset about it. Then we got a bunch of space Bezoses like, hell yeah, the Amazon Prime mobile suit pilot is doing great. We need to send out the drone hub for repairs. But this is where we kind of get a little bit of information on this lady here, who I'm not really sure what her name is. I'm sure it probably exists somewhere, but we didn't get it this episode that I remember. But she has some kind of connection to Orc's Earth. Whether this is maybe a cloned version of the Doctor from the first episode, or one of the staff that got taken alive or something. She has some kind of connection, and she basically says, yeah, the aerial Gundam's weird. It's not a Gundam. The gun-to-arm thing doesn't happen, but it's a Gundam. We'll figure it out. We got this lady doing some kind of thing for Ariel, or for Suletta. It's some kind of fortune-telling. I don't know if this has a real-world equivalent, or if this is just super made up for the thing, but it exists. We also get to see the Goat. Mr. Goat makes several appearances this episode. Love Mr. Goat. Then, she gets a phone call. It's Elan. He's like, yo, let's go on a date. And she's freaking out. She's like, what? I've never been on a date. I don't know how this works. It's not a date. He just wants to hang out. And everyone's like, girl, it's a date. They're watching playback, and they're like, hey, Elan, we don't know what this is, but some jank stuff. He's like, all right, whatever. I'm a cyber new type. Look at this. Look at my skin. All glowy, kind of like we saw in the prologue. But he says that something along the lines that his face is not his, and it kind of implies maybe he's a clone or something, or has been genetically modified or engineered. But it'll be interesting to see what his backstory is in connection to the Gundam thing. She's like, damn, that's sad. And then I like that he just activates it just for no reason here. He's just like, I gotta show off for the audience. Then we get this whole extended scene where they go to tell Chippity Jr., who's getting his pump on. He's getting the gains. He's in the gym, bro. He's not skipping he's doing arm stuff, so I guess maybe he's skipping leg day. I don't know. But he's big upset that Suletta's on a date with Elan. He's like, I'm Chippity Jr. I should be getting the dates. But it's kind of an amusing scene. Anyway, his whole cover story is he's like, hey, as part of the dueling committee, I have to go inspect these dueling areas, so will you come hang out with me? Will I do that? And they do. He's riding in the aerial. He's trying to get the scope of it, as we'll see why in a moment. But then he's like, hey, yo, listen, can I just pilot the aerial by myself? And she's like, sure. What? Girl, you gotta stop letting strange people steal your mobile suit. It's not a good thing. And she's all kind of bummed that she's like, oh, I asked about his birthday, and he kind of got upset about it. No, he wants the aerial Gundam. How are you this dense? Girl, your mom is like the worst tactician here of being like, my daughter's definitely going to be the best asset at the school. Like, girl, no. It's a miracle this thing hasn't been stolen yet. Anyway, he does the permit score. We get to see the whole thing light up. And it is kind of cool to actually get to see that, like, this is supposed to be Alon's view, so it's like his eyes are the Gundam's eyes, which is actually a really neat way of kind of conveying what the permit thing actually does. And then he rolls up his sleeves, which for a spacesuit you would think would not actually be that easy, but whatever. And no permit. He's like, whoa, what is happening? I don't understand. Look at those fingers. I love these fingers. Anyway, he freaks out. This is his like whole like heel turn moment of, okay, I'm gonna need to destroy some things. Anyway, I love that like Delling Jr. like does this 6-spin drift thing on a little Haro bike earlier in the episode, and Chibity Jr. just comes in on this weird industrial like Zamboni machine and just like drifts it through the scene. I love these drifts, it's great. Anyway, he's big upset and he's like, okay, I'm gonna challenge you to a duel. And dude's like, alright, let's go. I think actually it goes the other way around, it doesn't matter. We get the formal duel scene. It's pretty dumb, but basically Gwell's like, you can't talk to Soletta again if I win, which big plot twist here, he loses super hard. And then Alon's like, okay, well, if I win, I'm going to duel Suletta next. And that's just kind of how it goes, which is a little weird, but all right. You do you, fam. Chibity Jr. steals his brother's Delons, which, okay, fair enough, I suppose. A little weird, but all right. Don't know why he thinks this is going to go well. He doesn't know that Alon has a Gundam. He just thinks he's using his Zolward still. So this would have been a much more fair fight either way. But he goes out. He's got a big axe. Like, that's a cool axe. I like that. Anyway, they're like, whatever. We got the fight going. And we get to see the Gundam Ferrect. And it looks pretty cool. I mean, I still think I like the Gundam aerial design more. Like, in a model kit form, I think these shoulders are going to be a huge problem. But otherwise, it's a really neat looking design. This very Bjarlant style design here. Very cool. Has a big gun, has some bits, has some thrusters and things. It's really neat. Anyway, this fight's actually really good. Long range versus close range. The Delons actually does make a pretty good showing here. He gets a pretty good couple of swipes in. He doesn't actually make contact, but he does do a pretty good job. Kicks up all this dust that hasn't been a problem before. So I don't know if someone scattered this previously or something else happened. Maybe it's unique to this area. But basically, it's like magnetic dust that screws up the joints of the mobile suits. He doesn't recognize that that's happening. Gundam Ferrect gets some space and then launches its bits. You get to see the cool red effect there from the permit system, the Gundam system, if you will. And all these little beams start shooting, and he actually does a pretty good job of dodging most of them. But he does take a hit in the leg and in the axe, but it's just like a disabling ray. And it's temporary, so I assume that's just like a setting that he has. But like he's got a bunch of them. Look how many of those there are. If all of those exist on the high grade, you can imagine some things are going to be popping off that bad boy. But anyway, very cool looking. We get to see this lady be like, oh, hey, what's up? I know you from back in the day. And she's like, oh, yeah, you do. So I don't know if maybe there's some collusion here or if Suletta's mom is actively being like, hey, listen, I'm going to help all you all with your Gundam projects for reasons, I guess. Because we also saw the Dilblade or whatever it was have kind of a similar thing with the arm disconnecting drone type situation. And yeah, this one actually is a Gundam, so it has a very similar effect. Anyway, he's doing the permit thing. He's not looking too winded, but a little bit. Gwell's actually doing a pretty good job of being like a Zaku fighting the new Gundam here. But it's the dust that he kicked up earlier that gets him, and then all the big lasers hit him. They don't go through, like, they're stun rays, so it's like his mobile suit's just deactivated, and then he does the big final gunshot, bam bam, that guy's done. Everyone's like, whoa, that's wild. Don't know why everyone thinks this is a big deal, but they do. I guess they're just more surprised that, like, bro's got a Gundam. Anyway, he just does like the most vicious thing ever and just rips the horn off of the dude's head. Doesn't like try to cut it or anything. He's just like, this is mine now. Rips it off. Pretty brutal. And then he calls Suletta and he's like, hey girl, when we duelin', because we duelin', let's go. Like, school actually legitimately sucks for Suletta. Like, she's made friends, but girl has been in like 2 to 3 duels at this point, has had multiple fights, and is hanging out with like the kids that no one likes. Like, poor Suletta. This is rough for her. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the episode. We get Delling Jr. being really disappointed that Suletta was in on this dueling thing, even though she knows that, like, Suletta couldn't have turned this down effectively. Like, I guess that Elan would, like, his request to be like, I have to ask for it, but still. So they kind of leave this off. The next episode's going to be this duel, and we've got good fights pretty much every episode. It's wild. Anyway, that has been episode 5. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about it, how you're liking Witch from Mercury, and if you think these videos are fun to watch. Anyway, I've been the Spicer. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.